Francisco is one of the most expensive cities in the USA. It used to be the center of California gold rush, and now it's the world's innovation hub. Silicon Valley, which is 20 miles away from San Francisco, is home to headquarters of the largest companies like Google, Apple, and Facebook. If this place were a country, it would be a country with the second highest GDP per capita following Qatar. An average annual income here is close to $100,000 a year, but a family of 3 might have trouble surviving on it. You would need at least $3,000 to rent a decent one-bedroom apartment, or at least $1.5 million to buy an average home. A bigger house will cost a lot more. I just saw a $14 million listing for a 5-bedroom in Russian Hill. Hey guys, this episode is dedicated to San Francisco. The city is ranked number 7 by the amount of billionaires that live here. Just imagine, every 11,000 resident of San Francisco is a billionaire. There are 37 Michelin star restaurants here in San Francisco. I've only been to one. And people come here to make millions of dollars and start their own companies. But the problem is that all of this luxury and all of this wealth lives together with homelessness, crazy people in the streets, drugs in the streets. In this video, we're gonna talk about these problems and how the city is solving them. In this video, I will try to show you both sides of San Francisco, wealth and prosperity, and poverty and homelessness. We will start with visiting one of my friends, Gil Penchina. He's an early investor in PayPal, LinkedIn, and over 300 other startups. There are over 5 unicorns in his portfolio. A unicorn is a company with over $1 billion valuation. His apartment is a 4-level tower in the center of San Francisco where he regularly hosts parties for other talented investors and entrepreneurs. To me, Gil is one of the most successful investors in San Francisco and Silicon Valley. Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
Thank you for your time, Dimitri.
Dimitri.
Nice to meet you.
Gil, thank you so much for hosting us in your amazing place.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Was it hard to get this place? Because it's so iconic.
No, it was a very strange process, but...
How long did it take you? Were you like looking specifically for places like that, or you just found?
No, it found me. A friend of mine told me I needed to come take a look.
Yeah, cool. And then you're instantly like, let's get it?
Yeah.
Nice. Congrats. That's amazing. Can you tell me how you became an angel investor?
I was at a startup, and
Wiki, right? Where you were there?
just before Wiki, I was at eBay. When I joined, it was like a cool startup full of interesting people and quirky, high energy. And a year later, it was full of McKinsey and Bain consultants.
Oh, okay. You're also at Bain, right?
I spent 10 weeks there, and I was told not to come back. Turns out I don't like consultants very much. I started angel investing basically to spend time with the people I like instead of the people I worked with.
And how many startups have you invested in?
In the first 10 years, I invested in about 50. Today, it's about 300.
Wow. Do you remember all the names?
God, no.
Can you name top 3 best investments that you've made?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would have to say LinkedIn and Fastly, which just went public on Friday.
Oh, wow. Congrats.
After that, it gets harder.
What about PayPal? You were early, right?
I was an angel in PayPal, in Cruise Automotive, in Dollar Shave Club, in Discord. About a dozen unicorns now.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations. Okay, so you got all the money from your startups. What is the most expensive purchase you've ever made?
I bought a Tesla.
That's the most expensive one?
I think so.
Wow. Do you still have it, or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I bought it. It's like 8 years old.
Oh,
still works great.
Of all of the in entrepreneurs, like both that you've invested in and you haven't, who are your top 3 entrepreneurs in the world? Living or not living?
Well, you have to give it to Elon for all of the impact he's had, and Steve Jobs clearly would be another one that you just have to bow down to regularly.
Do you know anyone, any of them personally? Did you know?
Yeah, I met Elon a few times back at the PayPal days. Steve I never met. So.
Number 3.
I don't know.
Maybe someone you invested in.
I mean, in terms of the best human I've been participated with, you know, it has to go to Reid Hoffman.
Oh.
Just so for how thoughtful he is and how much impact he tries to have in so many areas.
Amazing. San Francisco and Silicon Valley is a place in the world where people make millions. If you're an entrepreneur and you come here and you share that last year you made $1 million, people would say you're doing great, but they would also tell you that this is just a beginning because people come here to make billions. Unfortunately, these people live very close to a huge problem in San Francisco: homelessness and mentally ill people in the streets. This is an unfortunate result of reforms that the government has been introducing for the past 50 years. In order to optimize health budget, a lot of clinics were closed and 800,000 mentally ill people ended up in the streets of the United States. What I like about America though is that the government is really open about the problems, and I just got a $15 ticket to hear Mayor London Breed, Mayor of San Francisco, talk about those problems. There's going to be a crowd of 50 people. We're going to have a chance to ask questions and finally hear what is the government doing to solve current San Francisco problems. Let's go and see.
I also feel like, you know, I see, you know, just really the changes in the communities. Like I walk even in the Western Addition and I feel like I grew up here, but I don't really recognize my own community anymore. And I also see just more homelessness, I think, than even when I was growing up here, because, you know, honestly, there were, you know, affordable places for people to live. And back then too, there were more families here. And so even though a lot of us didn't have a lot of money, we still, you know, had a lot of family members who lived with us. So there were places for people to live.
Do you consider it your number one problem, or is it just the visible problem of other things happening?
I would say it's the number one priority.
Okay.
It's important in terms, because yes, it's more visible. We don't have all of the tools that we need in terms of our laws, especially with our state law, that allows us to really help people the way that I know we can in San Francisco. So to say we're going to solve this problem, it's not realistic without changes to our conservatorship laws for people who are struggling with mental illness. Senator Scott Wiener is working on a bill right now in Sacramento, but that is not going far enough. Our jails and our hospitals are being used to cycle people in and out. You see it all over San Francisco. Sadly, someone who is clearly struggling and the police come. The police may take them to the hospital or take them to, you know, jail, depending on the situation. 72 hours later, after a 5150 hold, they're right back in the same place, you know, doing the same thing, and we're wondering, what is the city doing? Why can't the city do something to stop that person from taking off all their clothes and running in the middle of the street where they almost got hit by a car, or all of the things that we are seeing in our city more than we ever have before? And so part of it is we need some major changes, major mental health reform.
There's just not enough housing for everyone, and Mayor London Breed mentioned the current US laws prevent them from acting faster. For instance, there are a lot of lots in San Francisco that could be used to build social housing, but they are licensed for commercial use. It can take up to 2 years of bureaucratic work to make them residential. Mayor London Breed wants to get a new $300 million affordable housing bond to help solve the housing problem in the next 10 years. Wealthy residents also take part. Mark Benioff, the CEO of Salesforce, has recently donated $6 million to the city to build social housing, and many successful people are following his example. If you're a wealthy person and you live in San Francisco, you got everything. Best restaurants, 5-star hotels, gourmet food shops. A place I will show you in this video is unique. You won't find anything quite like it anywhere in the world. We've recently met a guy named Guy who turned out to be an exclusive importer of A5 Wagyu beef in the West Coast. Wagyu steak is prized for being incredibly tender and having a rich, buttery flavor. It's so expensive, around $200 per steak. Let's visit Guy and try his beef.
How are you today?
How are you?
Good. How's things going?
I wanted to try the most expensive meat.
We have Wagyu ranging from $79.99 all the way to about $399 a pound. There's only 2 places you can get it.
Oh, in the...
Japan and right here at the butcher shop.
Wow.
That's it.
And how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this since 1984, since I was 14. A long time.
And were you born here?
I was born in San Francisco in 1970, up on Parnassus at UC Mid.
And why not go into tech or like startups like everyone else here?
Well, that's a really good question. You know, as we see as the years go by, what's going to end up happening is, of course, all the tech industry is going to boom in this area, but there's a big demand for blue-collar industry.
Yeah.
I have a formal education with a degree. The butcher business put me through that.
What's your degree?
I have a degree in architecture. Yeah. I started in this business in 1984. I read a very famous book, Upton Sinclair's The Jungle, and it was a treatise written about the horrors of the beef industry in Chicago. In 1906, it completely changed the industry, which then gave rise to the USDA. I was fascinated with the book. After I did my book report, I went to the local butcher shop, a little Italian shop down in Pacifica, right here on the coast, and the rest is history. They put a broom in my hand, and I started sweeping the floors, and that was it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Let's try the steak.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cook one as a steak on the cast iron for you, and then I'm gonna do other one as a we're gonna torch it. This is a piece of Himalayan sea salt, piece of block. So that's what I used also, Himalayan sea salt on the, you can always salt it after.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now you can smell it. I'm trying to blow it your way there. Almost got the right color on this.
It's so cool to see people who are so passionate about what they're doing. This is insane.
My apprentices, but more than apprentices, this is Juan and this is Jessler. These guys are, and unfortunately Jared's not here today, but these are the backbone of our operation. So without these guys, you don't get to do any of this. So I'm very proud of you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. The salt just brings up.
And in restaurant, what would be the price
$200 right here.
What?
Yeah.
$200.
Oh yeah.
for like 7 pieces of small pieces of meat?
It's insane.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
You taste that salt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are here today.
Thank you so much.
We're
You're
so
so
glad that
welcome.
we're
So
Thank
welcome.
you so much. And how many businesses do you own now?
Me personally, well, I'm business partners in this project specifically. So we have the Niku Steakhouse, we have the butcher shop by the Niku Steakhouse, and we also have Udon Time. And then me and my other partners, we are involved in together on a certain level in Dumpling Time.
Amazing place.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Live Sushi, Sushi Bistro, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Okane, and Omakase. And
Wow.
then we just opened a second location of Dumpling Time in Tokyo.
Do you have any like clients that you can talk about, like prominent clients?
Can I tell you something? I'm like a good doctor. There are some very, very special people that shop here. Yeah.
Like,
I'm not going to say who. Is that okay?
Oh yeah.
We have some very prominent San Franciscans as well as we have a lot of chefs that come in here and buy for their clients, and a lot of them are a lot of sports figures in the area. We have a few musicians, a couple other people, so it's been a lot of fun. So all the way from Mill Valley all the way to South Bay.
Amazing.
We've also had clientele fly as far away as Seattle and Las Vegas.
Wow, so
as of late, and Colorado just to see us as of late. Yeah.
I feel so lucky that I live 10 minutes away from here.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you so much.
much.
It was amazing
It was
experience.
amazing.
Thank you. It was the best meet I've ever tried in my life.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey guys, we just arrived in Tenderloin, which is one of the dirtiest districts in San Francisco. It's very close to all the city sites, very close to Union Square. This is the district where you have to watch out for your phones and cameras, have to be aware of some residents, and make sure you don't step into poop. Let's see what Tenderloin's about. I haven't seen this anywhere in the world. 1 minute you're in the beautiful city center, another minute you're in a district where you have to really watch your phones and cameras because you're afraid of people. The name came about, many think, in honor of the bribes police department captain stood to receive from ignoring crimes happening in front of him back in the 20th century. I've had nothing but chuck steak for a long time, and now I'm gonna get a little of the tenderloin, he was quoted as saying. Another popular hypothesis is that cops received hazard pay for patrolling the often dangerous streets, thus affording them the budget for tenderloin cuts of beef. You've traveled so much, you travel all the time. Top 3 cities where you would live?
I don't know, that's the problem. Right now there isn't any one city that is appealing enough to me to live in.
Yeah, what about San Francisco?
So I'm spending plenty of time here.
Mm-hmm. Do you enjoy it?
Parts of it. It's gotten a little tougher.
Yeah, understand.
But, I don't think I have a city I'm drawn to yet.
Mm-hmm. What is the skill that every successful entrepreneur you think has that you worked with?
I think if you look at the most successful entrepreneurs, there's probably a few things they have in common. The first is that they're basically unemployable.
That's a good one.
Because they're all talented, driven, smart people. And if they were employable, they would go work at Google or Facebook or Apple, or they pay you a lot of money and the jobs are pretty easy and you can do well. You have to really be someone who doesn't deal well with hierarchy and authority and reality to do what we do. So I would say that is the thing I look for the most, is sort of that visionary who is trying to change the universe and just, sounds insane.
What is the most promising market, you think, right now for startups to look at?
I guess the problem is by the time, you know about it, it's too late, right? So everyone's piling into AI right now, and that seems to be the hot kid, which means it's already too late. So now you've got to find the next one.
Yeah. Are you looking at something, or you stop investing?
Yeah, I'm always looking at things, but I haven't, I don't know that I could tell you. I think there's some enormous change coming in the intersection of biology and technology.
Yeah.
But no one really knows where it is yet, and so that makes it interesting. I think that the movement to sort of renting instead of owning things isn't done, and so the real estate market, I think, still has room for a fair amount of disruption. I wish someone could fix healthcare.
Oh yeah.
So, I think it's probably the biggest market that we haven't had any impact on.
Agreed.
So those are a few ideas, but the trend du jour is clearly, machine learning and AI.
Yeah, and what about crypto? You were a crypto enthusiast a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, I got on that train for a while. It's hard to tell if this is, 2001 for crypto and it'll all come back or not. I think it has a lot of promise and no useful applications yet.
But you still have your crypto, or you just invest in?
I don't have any.
You don't have any. I still have some. It's growing, which is great. Finally. Okay, yeah, I have 2 last questions.
Okay.
What is the movie that everyone should see?
Well, the book was a lot better than the movie.
That's my second question.
Yeah, there's, Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged is sort of a classic for the Silicon Valley libertarian crowd here.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. The book I give as a gift the most often is The 5 Love Languages.
Yeah, you mentioned it in
Sort of helps people manage relationships, and not just with loved ones, but just sort of in general.
I think you follow it really well. Gil is one of the most generous people I've ever met. He just, giving away his car for the weekend, letting people stay in his apartment. That's amazing. So you're the icon of this Silicon Valley culture, because when I came from Russia, I was surprised how helpful people are here, because in our place it's completely different.
Yeah, no, it's true. In Europe, people are always trying to get paid first and then do work.
Yep.
And here, people do work and then hope they get paid.
Yep, that's amazing. So any movies, do you watch TV shows? No?
No, I don't watch a lot of TV.
Game of Thrones? No.
I saw the first few episodes and then lost track.
Yeah, no time, right?
Yeah.
It's too much. Thank you so much. That was
My
very
pleasure.
useful, very helpful. And yeah, thank you so much for hosting us. And I hope you enjoy your next amazing year.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a
Good to
lot.
see you.
Thank you. Thanks. This was a very extraordinary episode for me. Now you guys know all the information. You know that a person cannot be held in a facility against his will for more than 72 hours. You also know that American Constitution supports personal freedom and lets people live wherever they want. Now, knowing all of that, what is your solution to the homeless problem? Maybe you know how it's solved in your country. Please share it down in comments below. I keep talking to people here about their opinions, and maybe we'll find a way all together. San Francisco is a weird and amazing place. It can either drag you down and make you homeless, or it can help you become a superstar and a billionaire. Thank you so much for watching this video up to the very end. If you're not yet subscribed to this channel, there's a red button below, waiting for your reactions and waiting for your comments. Thank you. Bye.